Is Hansen Yang the next Nikola Jokic? Well, to answer the question immediately, the answer is probably not. Nikola Jokic is one of the all-time great basketball players. He has an argument to be one of the top 5 most talented players of all time, and he certainly has top 5 best offensive metrics and just advanced metrics of all time, maybe even number 1. And Hansen Yang, he's not quite there yet. And that's fair to say for a guy who got drafted with the number 16 overall pick. But today we're going to take a look at how Hansen Yang has shown similarities and differences to Nikola Jokic's time before he got drafted with the 41st overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft, comparing the 2024-2025 season of Yang against Jokic's 13-14 season in Serbia. And we're going to take a look at exactly how they're similar, how they're different, and how Yang can grow into a similar player, maybe not achieve the same level of greatness as Jokic, who's just such an outstanding player, but at least follow in the footsteps of Jokic. He's clearly already learned a lot from Jokic's tape, and we're going to take a look at how they're similar and different through this video compilation, starting out with his touches in the post. Being able to finish with size and strength that Jokic just didn't really have during his time in 2013-2014. I think it's dramatically scaled up year by year for Jokic, where Jokic took post-up actions from being one of his least used actions to being his most used action in the last few seasons in the NBA. Yang, on the other hand, starts out with post-ups being his number 1 action, being able to attack using physicality, using his length. He's a little bit taller, 7'1", and he's very well built. He's got like 250, 260 pounds-ish. It's probably a little bit more now that he's in the US, and he's got the post bag to go along with it. He's got great footwork. He's able to get to hook shots, little mini floaters, and just using his size, a little spin move that's very Jokic reminiscent, and we'll see a little bit more of it from Jokic himself in the next few clips, but being able to attack and just use all those skills at a pretty darn high level in the Chinese Basketball Association. He's in that like upper 25% of post-up players. He's not the most efficient as a post-up player, but he gets it done. I mean, he's definitely one of the biggest players in the Chinese Basketball Association, and he's able to take advantage of a lot of these smaller matchups against these like non-NBA player bigs. He's really able to go after them, especially like a lot of these dudes are like 6'7", 6'8", and him being the 7'1" monster. He's able to spin around, he's able to use his body, he's able to get right through them and get to the rim and find these high percentage shots. Although it's not going to translate immediately to the NBA. Like, defenders are going to be way bigger and they're going to be way better at stopping a post threat like Yang. He's at least showing a high level of doing this at like 19 years old. Like, this is just impressive stuff to see from such a young man, and just being able to turn this around and build this into an NBA skill is something he's going to have to do over the next few years. Comparing him to Jokic, though, I mean, Jokic is just such a finesse guy. He's only facing like power forwards here. I mean, there's definitely better defenders in the Serbian league. Like, there are so many guys who are just a few years away from playing in the NBA that we'll see in these clips, and a lot of other guys who choose not to join the NBA who are great defenders themselves. There's just a very high level of competition, and Jokic just shows a different level feel for the game, while Yang relies, he does have those he has pretty good touch around the rim, and he's great footwork. Jokic, on the other hand, is just such like a high feel type of guy, and that's what we'll see through all of these different play types and different things that we're looking at, is that Jokic just has an insane level feel for the game of basketball. Just his ability to see where his defender is, defenders fighting to his left side a little bit, but he's able to push right through him, get to his floater, and just the way that Jokic is able to combine guard skills and big skills in such a fluid way is something that will pop out throughout this edit. And it's what kind of just shows the difference between Yang and Jokic, where Yang is kind of more similar to like an Alperen Şengün, or if we're talking about a little bit lower level comparison, like a Mason Plumlee, where it's a guy who's not the most insanely fluid with the ball like a guard, but is able to pass the ball at a high level, attack in transition, attack on drives, attack on closeouts, do so many things well, but not quite to the same type of Jokic level that seems like it's like a pretty generational talent that's not going to be it's not going to be replicated very soon. Jokic himself was not very efficient in the post up. There's a reason there's only a few clips of him, because he just wasn't the most efficient at the time, but it was something that was developable, and I think that's something that NBA teams are really like big about nowadays. It's just like, does a guy show that he has the skills and he's growing into them year by year? And I think that's just kind of evidence of like, okay, we looked at that 13-14 footage, and then 14-15, I think he was way better as a post-up player, but I don't have that in front of me right now. But just year by year growth showing that he can just grow into it. Here we're looking at the pick and rolls. Both Jokic and Yang are very similar here, just using their bodies, using their length, and finding ways to finish at the rim through the defenders. It doesn't matter if there's 2 or 3 defenders in front of you, they're smaller than you. Use your length, use your arms, have pretty good touch around the basket. Here, step through. Yang loves to step throughs, attacking in the pick and roll, attacking these like short roll situations. He loves stepping through defenders, and he just gets right past them, a little spin, getting to his hook. Like, he has such a nice bag and finishing in the interior that's just great to see. Like, he's got a lot of work to do to still, you know, face off against NBA defenders in comparison to these Chinese Basketball Association defenders, but like, it's really promising to see. And yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing out of him, and it's just really impressive. The step throughs, using the shot fake, sometimes even using pass fakes to get through in these pick and roll situations is really impressive. And yeah, it's just great to see from him. Little Euro getting to his left hand. He also loves the Euro. We'll see that a little bit more when he attacks in transition or in these like higher roll situations. Being able to use that Euro step to get past defenders, you know, although NBA defenders are not on the same level, like on like a much higher level, like it's still really impressive to see. Also love to see that spin move. That's just brilliant. And like, he does show just so many flashes. It's hard to believe that this guy was actually going to be a 2nd round pick. Like, I really believe it's kind of like a game of chicken between the NBA team. It's just like pretending like he's going to be the 2nd round pick, when in reality, he probably is in that talent range of probably like 9 to 15, maybe even higher. I'd maybe even say like 6. And like, teams were just playing chicken. They didn't want to invest their asset in someone who was potentially going to go much lower. And I think the Trailblazers kind of just had their hand forced. They were able to trade down 5 spots from 11 in that trade that ended up giving the Grizzlies Cedric Howard. And when they got to that pick, they're just like, we're not going to take a risk. The Timberwolves are a team that we're connected with Yang. We got to take him when we've got the chance. Maybe the Timberwolves were already committed to Joan Berenger with that pick, but yeah, I mean, it's the Timberwolves felt like their hand was forced. I mean, they're led by Mike Schmitz. I don't think Mike Schmitz in the scouting department is going to let you not take a guy like Hansen Yang. I'm sure that it was him who was all over that. I might have to check in with my sources about that one, if it was Yang, if that was all Schmitz thing. But Mike Schmitz is so heavily involved with that scouting department, where like, yeah, I think I see what he's seeing here. Like, there's clearly those Jokic-esque signs. Again, just being able to finish in the paint, being able to finish through contact. They have similar vibes here, for sure. Like, it feels very similar. There's a little bit more finesse for Jokic, like right there, the little finger roll. Like, yeah, I mean, this is just Jokic. Like, he just attacks, finishing through contact. Like, Jokic just has such a high feel. This play is so absurd. Like, oh my God, I think it's a little bit of that warping from the camcorder camera of this 2013-2014 footage. I know this footage is horrible. What do you expect? It's 13-14 Serbian basketball footage. Like, of course it's going to be warped. Of course it's going to be blurry. But just look at this, man. This is just crazy. Using a shot fake, he was really a threat as a three-point shooter, I believe, this season. I mean, we're going to see the three-point shooting in a little bit, but Jokic took something like, he took 127 threes this season, and he played, I think, 15 less games than Yang. Yang shot 50 threes, basically just 1 per game. Jokic shot like 3 or 4 per game. And yeah, just attacks off of that shot fake. Oh my God, like this is just quintessential Jokic, where you just see these kind of guard skills jumping out at you, just the ability to, that like little quick twitch moment right there where he just I don't know, like just sees the defender up in the air, is able to get his shoulders around him, is just such like a such a Jokic-ism. Like, this shoulder is just around this defender, has no chance once this foot gets around, like, off the closeout, and just steps through, gets through, kind of just getting to his floater with the shot, the center closing out in front of him. I mean, Jokic, as I said, is facing power forwards. He's got the centers also coming in to try to block his shots. Like, this is crazy, just like finishing like a floater like that is such a high touch, high feel. And then here again, driving off the perimeter, getting to a little floater is just such a so high level that it's just insane to me that this man would pick 41. Like, I don't know why that happened, but Yang is not quite the three-point shooter as Jokic either. And like both, I mean, we've seen many players develop into great shooters, and I like at least what I'm seeing from Yang. He needs to be a little bit quicker and maybe needs a little bit better footwork on his shots. I mean, he shot 28% from 3 on 50 attempts. He didn't quite make that many. Coming this in the summer league and the limited attempts he had, he was 4 of 12, so that's at least pretty solid. It's at least showing an ability to try to do it, and he did pretty all right at it. But Jokic, as you'll see, is just, he's already Jokic. I mean, he shot 32% from 3 on those 120-something attempts, but defenders are respecting him so much in comparison to Yang. Like, no one is worried about Yang. Look at these defenders closing out to Jokic. Like, these are great closeouts that I've picked out to look at here. And Jokic just doesn't care. He just shoots right over the top of them. He shot so many threes in the pick and roll. He just pick and popped so many times, and he just pulls up. Even here, like Boban Marjanovic, who's about to come into the NBA, just shoots right over the top of him. Not even a bad closeout. I mean, it's about an average closeout from Boban Marjanovic, but just shoots right over the top. He does not care. Jokic was just such a high-level three-point shooter, and it was on such like a projectable level where you see this guy like coming up in Serbia where like he's shooting so many threes and showing such a willingness to do it with a great shot and doing it through closeouts so many times that it's just like, that was such a more projectable skill for Jokic in comparison to Yang. But in the NBA we're in right now, I think just about anyone can learn to shoot the three. Just Jokic kind of did it on like a, oh, this man is probably gonna turn into like an MVP type of level, in my opinion. Just like seeing that type of shot and that type of closeout, that type of ability to shoot under pressure is just kind of like, I see it now. Like, I see why that guy is going to be an MVP in comparison to Yang, who's not really being defended because he's not quite there yet. And that's okay. He might get to that point, but he's not quite there yet. In the putbacks, we're going to see Yang. He does a great job of fighting. He hand fights. He gets to the rim. He's able to get right up and close to it, right? Like, he gets quite a few follow slams and using a little box out sometimes. He does a great job using his length and just size, strength. He uses it all. He uses the whole package. And just comparing him to Jokic again, like, it's a little bit more in 14-15 where he's playing in Serbia and it's the year before he ends up in the NBA. But he just has kind of like these high, like, feel touch moments. Like, he follows where the ball is. Defender's a little bit turned, so he just fights to the spot. And Jokic is just such an insanely high-level offensive rebounder. It's hard to express. Like, right here, it's these little touch things where he gets it off the rim, maybe if it's not quite in. Jokic has such a high-level ability to just keep the ball in the rim, keep it in play for his teammates. His teammate tips it back up to him, and he's able to get it back to himself, finish at the rim. And, like, if you want to go back through and you want to like see this at like at such like he'll do it like every single game, go watch his 2014-2015 season. Like, it's so crazy to see it. Like, he just has so much tape of it where he's just able to tip it off the rim, get it back to himself, finish with touch, and it's just absurd to watch. He's just clearly showing these NBA skills that made him an MVP. And as much as Yang does things at a very high level, he is again reliant upon the competition he's playing, being smaller, shorter, they don't quite have the length of NBA defenders, NBA players who are rebounding at such a high level. And Yang is going to be facing almost always centers. I don't think he can ever play power forward, as we'll see with his defensive ability. But he might be out there against some power forwards, considering they might try out lineups with Klingon at the power forward position, might end up, having to rebound against power forwards as well. But you know, Yang's so much more reliant upon those physical abilities that are not totally going to be there in the NBA. He can develop them and try to get up there, but Jokic just has just such a different level feel. And it's like it's not a hit on Yang. It's just say Jokic is one of the greatest players of all time. And Yang is not. Like, at least right now, I'm not seeing it on the same level as Jokic. I think it could turn out. Like, there's very well a chance, but that chance is not the same as when you're looking at Jokic and you're looking at the skills that made him one of the greatest players of all time, and you're seeing them in his pre-draft film. Like, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, if you're trying to compare the two, he's not showing the same signs. Like, he's not showing the same tools that made Jokic so great. And here we're just taking a look at, this is kind of like the big quintessential, like, oh, this is why you compare them, is transition, being able to attack, being able to pass back and forth to get the ball back and finishing with finesse at the rim, being able to, he just spams the Euro step. I'm sure this is a Euro step right here. Just being able to take the ball up yourself and just, oh, he doesn't even care about the Euro step. He uses a little bit of pass fake. Defender's a little bit late. He gets past the initial defender and he just says, oh yeah, I'm just going to draw the foul at least. Maybe I'm going to dunk that home, but yeah. Right here, Quindary Weatherspoon's attracting a little bit of attention. There's at least one guy I know on this team. I don't really know the rest of this team that Yang is playing on, but this defender is stuck here. These defenders are miscommunicating. This guy thinks he's closing out here. There's no one in front of Yang, and he just says, oh, I'm going to the rim. He's got at least that level of ball control on that kind of like Mason Plumlee type level, Alperen Sengun type of level, somewhere in the middle of that, where it's not Jokic. Jokic looks like a guard, but, you know, going to these Euro steps, finding his floater is really impressive. As you'll see in these clips, there's not really a lot of assists, steals, or blocks because they're not something that's really well tracked, at least in my in what I'm using to find these video clips, is that there's not really any way to see like the steals, blocks, and assist clips like I am with Jokic. But he has pretty good hands. He gets to transition using hands, and just right here, just going right through his defender. Maybe he should have gone to that reverse, but just using his hands right there. Good box out, controls the ball, and now is pushing up the floor 5-on-4, and he's going right past the defender with a little push cross. This defender's stuck because he's worried about the closeout. Defender just gets Euro'd right past because he's stuck on 2 feet, and that's way too easy for Yang to just Euro pass. It's really impressive to see. It's one of Yang's greatest skills, is just being able to attack and transition right here. Even in the half court, going downhill, he gets to a spin move. Just, he does such a great job of it, attacking. He just shows so many signs. Euro in the half court as well is such a great thing to see from a young guy like Yang. Euro to a floater, oh my gosh. Like, he's got it. Like, he's definitely got it. In my opinion, he should have gone way higher than 16, but I understand what type of cat and mouse game of chicken that was being played. Like, I see what happened here. I see why he ended up going to 16, but then you look at the tools and you're like, okay, yeah, no, I don't think he was quite the 16th overall pick. But I guess I understand the concerns against the level of competition he's playing against. It's not even as good as the competition that Jokic is playing in Serbia, but you see it. You definitely see it. You see how they do the same things, like attacking in transition. Like, this is probably a clip that was shown to Yang by like whoever's training him in China. Just seeing, oh yeah, Euro step right past the defender, get to your right hand, get it off the glass. Easy deceleration, finishing transition. That's like pretty much exactly what we saw from Yang in his clips. Again, here, sealing the ball. I mean, this is just, okay, this is where it's like, there's Yang, and then there's 2013, 2014 pre-draft Jokic, where you look at it and you just realize like, oh shoot, this man is a future NBA MVP. Like, oh my god, the way he's able to control the ball, protect the ball. I mean, this should be a strip, but is Nikola Jokic finishing against a Serbian guy that you probably have never heard of? He's gonna Euro right around him, gets the rim. Like, the deceleration, the Euro step is just so crazy to watch and realize, like, how did this guy go 41? I mean, I think, as I said, I think we're still gonna be asking the same question about Yang, how this guy went 16. I think he has a pretty good floor and you know, very high ceiling, where it's just like, how did that guy end up going 16? But Jokic is just so next level. He takes it out of the post and he just says, oh, I'm gonna go face up against the opposing team's power forward. The center is rotating over too, like, no, I'm just gonna go face up, I'm gonna go cross, and now I'm gonna spin into a floater. Like, oh my god, that's Jokic. I'm like, I wish I could say that about Yang. It's just like, oh, this clip is like, oh, this clip is definitely like a Jokic-ism. And we're gonna see a little bit of it. There's a few clips of it, but not enough of it where you're watching 13-14 Jokic and you're just like, oh, okay, I see it. I see it now. I see it. Like, how, I don't know what happened there in 13-14, but post-up passing, another thing that Jokic just does at such a high level. Yang does a pretty good job. I wish he fired passes a little bit better, but he does a great job of reading the defense. Right here, he's just watching this defender's kind of watching two guys. He's kind of a little bit stuck to this first defender. This guy's guarding two in space, like per usual. Sees the defender moving upwards to here before he gets his head turned. And now he sees this defender coming up on the double. He again sees the half slide to this shooter. So he kicks it out to the corner. It's a long closeout and it's a high pass, so he can shoot the ball immediately. But offense player uses the shot fake, gets to the three, and knocks it down. That's a pretty good read right here. Again, reading the same sort of defensive concept. This number 10 is kind of stuck in space. He didn't know where 27 went, but he ends up being in the right spot to stop number 2 from being wide open. But Zeros is wide open, and he's gonna have to make a decision right here. He again takes a little step upwards. Yang gets up in the air, sees where 27 is, sees where Zeros is, and fires it out to the corner. It's a pretty darn good pass. It's right into the shooter's pocket. Ends up in his left hand, which I think the offensive player prefers it a little bit more in the right hand, and we'll see it a little bit in the Jokic clips that Jokic does a really darn good job of just pinpoint accurate passes into the offensive player's shooting hands that Yang just doesn't quite have yet. And that's okay. That's a developable skill, but just the level that Jokic is at again and again, like I'm saying it over and over, was just not the same as where Yang is at right now. This offense player gets blocked with a slow release, but in the NBA, like, guy maybe makes a shot, but at least teams are in rotation right there. Again, pretty darn good pass. Again, it goes to his left hand and doesn't quite get into that shooter's pocket that, like, the offensive player might have preferred on this rotation. This guy is just not there. He's supposed to pick up 2 off this double team. This man's completely fallen asleep. It's a wide open pass. It's a pretty darn good pass. I can't complain too much about it. It's not nearly as bad as the previous 2 passes. Like, it's a much better pass, but it's a great hook pass, right hand pass. As you'll see in these clips, Yang is very right hand dominant, very right hand one-handed pass dominant, and that's okay. We're going to see in the Jokic clips that he's pretty much the same. We're not going to see any left-hand passes in either of these players' clips, but I think it's just like a marked thing, like, okay, make sure you got to develop that left-handed passing ability, the ability to post on the left block, because we're seeing him on the right block in all these passes. Like, to be able to get to that left block instead of that right block and be able to pass from that block as well will be pretty important. And yeah, right here, defender cuts in, and this defender is kind of looking at, someone's looking at double, I think, or right here. Yeah, this guy's stunting in, this defender's cutting, this offensive player's cutting in, this guy's thinking about doubling again, this guy gets stuck in the paint trying to stop off the dunker spot. Guy clears out to the corner, so it's a one more knockdown 3, and NBA players make that shot. It's a wide open shot. It's a great read by Yang, just seeing what the defense is giving him. We're going to see this team twice right here. But right here, this defender fakes in, this defender rotates over, and this time around he uses pass fakes. This is Yang's best clip in my opinion. This is what makes him great. His ability to just see this play kind of turning out. He's got this defender kind of doubling. He's kind of going to recover back. This guy's coming over. He's going to pass fake initially to the top of the key, which draws this defender upwards. He's going to pass fake to this guy, who's going to draw this defender. And now him, thinking that this pass is going to the corner or going up top, is now frozen, turned towards the basket, so he can kick it back up top to a wide open shooter. And again, in the NBA, that shot goes in. It's a long closeout. this shot should be going in, and there's just no defenders in the area because of the pass fakes that Yang made. This time around, he sees that, oh, this top man cleared out. This guy's going to stunt down again, and it's a wide open pass to a shooter. Pretty darn good pass. Again, NBA players are going to make that a much faster release and probably knock that down. Could be like a marginally better pass. This guy's cutting, his defender's trailing him. Easy read, almost gets deflected, but at least he gets the pass through, and it's a promising sign to see. And here, again, in the post, here's going to see that this guy's coming in to double team him. This guy's defending 2 in space, and this guy's cutting through. Maybe the shooter's open, but this guy's kind of he's kind of frozen right here. This defender's kind of frozen. He fires it inside to the paint, and his man finishes with a nice reverse finish. And right here, again, in the post, kind of an unnecessary pass. He should have waited a little bit, but this defender fell asleep, so he passes to him. Again, I mean, number 2, we just saw him finish with the reverse. Like, okay, I understand the concept there. It seems like a pretty good pass to make. And again, being able to use a little bit of pass fake. This is, again, one of my favorite clips from him. I have no idea if this was deflected or if this was just one of the greatest passes I've ever seen. I'm not really sure what the case is, but just the way that this bounce is gonna hang, like, do you see this? Like, okay, maybe it did get deflected, but like, look at this ball. It just hangs here for 14. It's perfect for him to catch in stride, and now this defender's completely flat-footed for 14 to just go right past him. Little Euro, maybe just normal layup. I don't know what that was, but it's just a little blurry. And again, here, this defender gets tripped up. This defender's caught in space with this shooter out here. He's going to hook the pass inside. It's a great pass. The offensive player is able to finish at the rim. And again, operating in the post, just so many post-up passes that he does a great job of. Gets the ball deflected a little bit. His ball is picked up right here, but 12 cuts through. These defenders are frozen on their guys. Maybe they should be helping, but they aren't. And he just makes the right read. It's a good pass, and the man's able to finish. But Jokic is Jokic, and you already see it with Jokic. It's like the precision passing that passes to the corner. It's all already Jokic, and that's why it's like when we're comparing Yang to Jokic, Yang is not Jokic, and that's okay. And he can be his own player, and he could be a great player in his own right. But he's not the multi-time MVP. He's not one of the top 5 greatest players of all time, like you can see with his flashes in these moments. Right here, passing it out to the corner, just perfect pass. This defender is frozen in the paint with this man cutting in, and just wide open, perfect catch. Horrible footwork by this shooter right here. He's not loaded up properly heading into the shot. I mean, it's 2013, 2014. It's kind of like maybe that's what you should expect, but it's a perfect pass. It's right to the shooter's pocket, and it should be a knockdown shot if that's the NBA. Just such a perfect 2-hand overhead pass to the opposite corner. That's just so Jokic. It's so insanely Jokic right here. Oh my God, this play is insane. 4 defenders, he spins. I mean, he's got 4 defenders in front of him. Someone's wide open, and it's a perfect right-handed pass into the shooter's pocket. It hits him in the perfect spot for him to go right into the shot and knock it down. Like, this is Jokic. And like, oh my God, just like right into the shooter's hand too. Like, I cannot express how perfect of a pass that is. Like, and just here again, so quintessential Jokic, just in the high post. He's just going to be able to turn, make a 2-handed pass over the defender's head. Just like, oh, defender is low, bang, swing that across. You see Jokic do that, you know, at least once per game. And shooter's got to knock it down, but just, you know, at least force the opponents into rotation. It's just insane right there, seeing the cutter just feeding it right to him. Man, Jokic is just special to watch, even in 2013-14 when he's going to get drafted with the 41st overall pick. He is special. And yeah, Yang, I mean, I've watched enough tape. He's not quite that level. He doesn't have that feel. He doesn't have that kind of, oh, I'm going to be a top 5 level player, a top 5 all-time player. But he's going to be, he's got the upside to be pretty darn good. And I'm going to talk about his ceiling, midpoint, and floor at the end of the video. But we got to talk about defense. Finally, the last piece of the puzzle. Looking at this, shot fake, gets back to it. He's a little bit slow. He can fall for shot fakes. He can get back to it. He can block shots. And he's pretty solid in the interior. He's able to use his body, take a body bump against Josh Carlton, stay in front, get to a block. and prevents him from making it. And there he did. He got a pretty good closeout as well right there. Again, staying in front in the drop coverage. He's going to be a pretty solid drop coverage big man. It's kind of weird because you already drafted a drop coverage big in Donovan Clingan with a top 10 pick last year. And it's kind of a really weird fit, but I think you just kind of had to take the risk on a guy like Yang. But just using his size, his physicality, staying in front, being able to bump. Some players move him, but sometimes he just stays in front, uses his length, and yeah, blocks a lot of shots. He was the defensive player of the year, I believe, in the Chinese Basketball Association, and he had the most blocks in the league. Like, he was such a great shot blocker. He stayed in front. He's able to rotate over sometimes, a lot of times just staying in front, using his physicality, forcing a tough shot, and he just does a lot of those things where it's just like, oh, he just got a much better body than all these players in the Chinese Basketball Association, and he's able to just use it in such a high level. And I think it's a lot of just a competition thing where you just look at this and you just say, oh, well, Yang is going to be an amazing defender. But then you look at Jokic and you just see, like, Jokic is, coming into the league as kind of like not supposed to be a great defender. He's, he kind of develops into it. He gets into a pretty good place defensively. I would say like above average, but just above the average. Like, he's just above the 50% mark. And that's good enough because he's one of the greatest offensive players of all time. But like, Yang is not quite there in terms of the feel, where Yang is a lot more reliant upon his physical tools to dominate against inferior competition. Jokic dominates with feel. Again, just blocking and an up and under, like staying in front, using physicality, using his hips, staying in front, gets in front of the spin and blocks it. Like here, like he's got Boban Marjanovic tipping around a shot and he's able to stay in front and block that shot. He blocked Boban Marjanovic, who's also a year or two away from making the NBA. Justin Holiday is going to drive in. He stays in front and drop coverage and forces into the help defender for the block. Like, he's doing this against NBA players. Like, this is a really impressive stuff. And just coming over, rotating in, and like blocking shots. Like, he's not supposed to be athletic, but here he is blocking shots in rotation. Like, Jokic did so many things at such a high level. And finally, we got to talk about trying to guard out in the perimeter. This is concerning from Yang. It's probably his biggest it's definitely his biggest weakness. It's just he's not able to stay in front. His hips are horrible, and his footwork is not much better. Brandon Goodwin is gonna ISO against him right here. He's on an island, and he just gets cooked. Like, his hips are not there. Brandon Goodwin gets right past him. His feet just get stuck in the ground. They're just like rooted into the ground on some moves. And Sonny Weems, oh my God, Sonny Weems. Man, poor Hansen. What a great move by Sonny Weems. Just goes right past him, gets right to the rack. Oh my God. Sonny, why'd you do that to him? That was absurd. Just that little crossover, get to that left hand, little hang on that, like, or get to his right hand, sorry. Oh my gosh, like, Hansen, he just isn't able to stop it. He's not at the level right now, and it's a little bit concerning to see that. That's why he dropped to 16. And yeah, even here, like a bump jump shot by Jared Solinger against him. Like, that gotta happen sometimes. It's good enough defense, but NBA players are gonna do that to you. And then again, getting attacked going to the left hand, like, he gets attacked on his hips like all the time, even if against like wings and bigs. Like, they can just get around him, get around his hips right there. His feet are locked into the ground, and the wings just able to go right past him for the dunk. Like, yikes. Like, it's not great right now, and that is what it is. Seeing this clip again, just he's trying to stay in front, but yeah, I mean, he's just bumping. At least he's showing his chest, at least he's showing physicality, but they just go right past him. It just sucks right now for Yang, and like, that's the biggest thing for him, is just being able to work on it. And we're gonna see Jokic right here. He doesn't quite have the same issue. Like, he's not a great defender by any means, but at least his hips are moving. Like, at least his feet are moving. Even if he's getting cooked right here, like, defender is gonna get him. He's gonna get him with a move right here, but at least he's staying in front. He's forcing into the defender. He's not stuck out on the perimeter. At least he's getting back and tagging into that big in the paint. Dario Saric, don't play with me. Dario. Oh yeah, just get into that crossover midi. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Dario Saric, shout out Dario Saric. Like, okay, it happens, you know, like there's plays like that happen. But right here, I like this little stunt. Don't allow the offensive player to drive and then recover back to your man in the corner. Just pretty great closeout. Stay in front, stay good footwork, stay the hips in front. Maybe NBA players make that, but at least it's a workable defensive defensive mechanics. And right here, it gets ISO'd against the guard off the pick and roll switch. And he's just going to stay in front. He gets cooked again, but just showing at least an ability to recover back in front, kind of show chest, maybe even block that shot. I'm not sure. I mean, this is blurry camcorder footage from 2013, 2014. Again, just kind of staying in front. Again, kind of gets cooked, but at least stays in the play. It is very admirable from Jokic, where it's just like, okay, I see the vision right here. Like, at least he's making a pretty good attempt. He just gets cooked. He bites on a little too much right here, but at least he's there. And it just shows like, oh, okay, I can see where this turns into an NBA player. And so, in comparison to Yang, where you're just like, oh, that's at least a little bit concerning. Like, oh, I'm not 100% sure that's like a guy you can have out on the court all the time, compared to Jokic, where you need him on the court for, 40 minutes a game in the playoffs. Like, yeah, I mean, you can see the vision with young Jokic. With Yang, you see a lot of the signs, but you see a lot of differences too. And I think Yang is very good. The tape is really there, and I'm very intrigued by it. I might have 2 more videos coming down the line talking about this guy. I want to talk about him and Caleb Love and their summer league footage that they put up together. They were great together as a duo. I'm also maybe going to take a little bit deeper of a look at the ball faking, passing, post-up passing, face-up transition attacking methods between Yang, Jokic, and Alperen Şengün, because I think they're probably like the 3 most comparable guys we've had on tape in the last few years in terms of this really interesting like ball skill big man that's coming into the league. And yeah, I just kind of want to maybe also Wemby in there, I don't know, but just kind of taking a look at what these guys are doing and how we can kind of see how newer players come into the league, like new guys on tape are going to project like these guys. But yeah, I've got a lot coming with Yang, maybe, depending on how this video does. And when I also want to just like, I think I mentioned this already, but taking a look at his ceiling, I kind of see him as like an all-NBA guy, maybe an all-NBA second team guy. I don't know if I could see him as the best player on a championship team, just because of his ability to move with the ball and without it. And it's just concerning to me at the moment. I don't really think he's there on that Jokic or maybe even Şengün type of level. I mean, I think Şengün projects to be like a second or third best player on a championship team. I think Yang is kind of in that type of same conversation as Şengün, who I believe was also drafted at the 16th overall pick. So kind of in that same conversation as a ceiling is kind of Alperen Şengün, in my opinion. His mid-level point is kind of a high-level starter. I think just a guy who's going to get many contracts, who's going to be in the league for 15, 16 years. That's a great mid-level point and a pretty darn good pick to make with a 16th overall pick, as long as you didn't miss out on, big steals after him, especially because he came in on a run of centers of Derek Queen and Joan Berenger and whoever went with pick 15, I'm kind of forgetting, but the other center that went in that group. And yeah, I think at least you took the risk. I think it was a risk worth taking, and you're looking at his floor as a guy who's going to be in the league for probably 9 to 10 years as a high-level backup center. Think like Jonas Valanciunas, or think like, I'd say like a Mason Plumlee is kind of his floor. Well, I'd say Jonas Valanciunas is his mid-level point. So there you go. There's your 3 levels: Şengün, Valanciunas, or Mason Plumlee. I think that's pretty darn good, and that's a pretty good pick to make with the 16th overall pick. If you want to see more like this, let me know in the comments section, or by hitting the like button. That'd also be pretty cool. And if you haven't subscribed already and you want to stick around for more content like this, scroll down and hit the subscribe button. That'd be pretty cool. And yeah, I think that about covers it. Looking forward to the next one. Maybe we'll be talking about some college prospects, maybe talking about some NBA players who are looking to make a jump next year. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. But I'll see you in the next one. That's for sure. Goodbye.